Imagine waking up one morning and realizing your own twin sister has stolen your face, your name, and your future, just to marry a wealthy merchant's son. Everyone believes she is you, even the man you love. But what she doesn't know is that a stolen reflection cannot hide forever, because the truth always finds a mirror. Then begin the story. The night the twins were born, the village elders whispered something that made their mother shiver. They said twins were not ordinary children. They were two souls sharing one mirror. But sometimes, one reflection tries to swallow the other. And when that happens, the balance of destiny breaks. No one in the small trading village of Abodo knew that this prophecy would one day become a terrible reality. Because among those twins, one heart was pure, and the other was dangerously hungry. Adis and Amoka were born minutes apart. Identical in face, identical in voice, identical in beauty. Even their mother sometimes struggled to tell them apart. But their spirits were nothing alike. Adis, the elder by minutes, carried a calm kindness that people felt immediately. She spoke softly. She helped the old. She shared food even when she was hungry. Amoka, the younger twin, was different. Her beauty sparkled like polished gold. But inside her eyes lived a restless ambition. She wanted more. More attention. More admiration. More power. While Adis dreamed of peace, Amoka dreamed of status. And in the village of Abodo, there was only one thing that could deliver the life she craved. Marriage. But not just any marriage. She wanted the greatest prize of them all. In the wealthy trading city nearby lived Chief Okafor, the richest merchant in the entire region. His ships crossed rivers. His caravans traveled deserts. His warehouses overflowed with spices, ivory, and gold. But his greatest treasure was his only son, Chinedu, handsome, educated, an heir to a fortune that could feed entire kingdoms. When news spread that Chinedu would soon choose a wife, every family began preparing their daughters. But when Chinedu visited Abodo during a trading festival, his eyes found only one girl. Adis. Not Amoka. Adis. The quiet twin. The humble one. The one who never tried to attract attention. That day, when Adis offered him water after the long journey, Chinedu looked into her eyes and smiled. And that single moment lit a fire of jealousy in Amoka's heart. Because for the first time in her life, someone had chosen her sister over her. That night, Amoka stared at her reflection in a clay bowl filled with water. The moonlight touched her face. She looked exactly like Adis. Exactly. So why? Why had the wealthy merchant's son fallen for the quiet twin? Her thoughts began to twist into dark shapes. If they looked the same, then maybe destiny had simply made a mistake. Maybe the wrong twin had been chosen. And mistakes could be corrected. One evening, while walking near the forest, Amoka heard something strange. A voice. Soft. Old. Calling her name. She followed the sound deeper into the trees until she found a crooked hut hidden among ancient roots. Inside lived an old woman the villagers feared. Momankiru. Some called her a healer. Others called her something darker. Amoka stepped inside. The old woman looked at her and smiled slowly. I wondered when jealousy would bring you here, Momankiru said. Amoka froze. You know why I came? The old woman nodded. You want the life meant for your sister. Amoka's heart pounded. Yes. Mama Nkiru leaned forward. There is a ritual, she whispered. A ritual that allows one twin to steal the reflection of the other. Amoka's breath stopped. What does that mean? The old woman's voice became cold. It means the world will no longer see your sister. They will only see you. Amoka hesitated. Even ambition trembled before such a dark promise. What will happen to my sister? She asked. Mama Nkiru's eyes darkened. She will still exist. But without her reflection. She will become invisible to destiny. Her voice dropped lower. Forgotten. Amoka's hands shook. But then she remembered the palace. The wealth. The power. The life she believed she deserved. Her hesitation faded. What must I do? The ritual had to happen at midnight. Both twins had to stand before the same mirror. And one twin had to willingly surrender a piece of her spirit. That night, Amoka convinced Addis to perform what she called a twin blessing ritual. Addis trusted her sister completely. So she agreed. At midnight they stood before a polished bronze mirror. Candles flickered around them. Mama Nkiru began chanting. Then suddenly, she handed Amoka a small blade. Cut your palm. Amoka obeyed. Blood dripped onto the mirror. The old woman spoke the final words. Let one reflection swallow the other. The mirror began to tremble. Addis gasped. Her image flickered. Then slowly, her reflection faded. And Amoka's reflection grew brighter. Stronger. More powerful. The ritual was complete. The next morning something terrible happened. No one noticed Addis anymore. When she spoke, people looked confused. When she touched them, they felt nothing. Even her own mother stared through her like empty air. But Amoka, everyone saw her as Addis. Even Chinedu. When he returned to propose marriage, he knelt before the wrong twin. Amoka accepted with a victorious smile. The wedding preparations began immediately. And Addis watched helplessly. Her life, her love, her identity, all stolen. Soon Amoka moved into Chief Okofor's luxurious palace. Silk curtains, gold jewelry, servants everywhere. Everything she had dreamed of. Yet something strange began happening. Mirrors in the palace refused to reflect her face. At first she blamed the lighting. Then the mirrors began cracking. One by one. Each time she looked into them, a faint whisper echoed from the glass. You stole what was never yours. Meanwhile Addis wandered the village like a ghost. Only one person could still see her. An old blind storyteller named Baba Igeo. He sensed spirits and truths hidden from ordinary eyes. When Addis told him everything, he sighed deeply. A stolen reflection cannot survive forever, he said. But truth must be awakened. How? Addis asked. The old man smiled. With patience and courage. Days before the wedding, strange events began to disturb the palace. Food turned bitter in Amoka's mouth. Jewelry burned her skin. And every night she dreamed of mirrors shattering around her. But the worst sign came during the wedding ceremony. As Amoka approached the altar, the ceremonial mirror used for blessing marriages suddenly shattered. Gasps filled the hall. The priest trembled. This is a terrible omen, he said. Amoka forced a smile. But deep inside, fear was beginning to grow. The final truth arrived the morning after the wedding. As the sun rose, a servant screamed. All the palace mirrors had shattered overnight. Except one. A small bronze mirror standing in the courtyard. Everyone gathered around it. When Amoka looked into it, she saw something horrifying. Two reflections. One was hers. The other was Adi's, standing behind her. And slowly, the second reflection stepped forward. The mirror flashed with blinding light. The stolen magic broke. Suddenly everyone could see Adi's again. Chinedu stared in shock. You're the girl I met at the festival. The truth flooded the courtyard. Amoka collapsed, screaming. The price of stolen destiny had finally arrived. Because reflections cannot truly be stolen. They can only be borrowed by lies. And lies always expire. Chief Okafor ordered the old woman Momankiru captured. The dark ritual was undone. Amoka lost everything she had stolen. But Adi's was finally restored. And Chinedu chose her once again. Not for beauty, but for the quiet strength that had survived betrayal. In the end, the village elders spoke a final truth. A mirror does not lie. It only waits for the truth to return. Because no matter how long deception rules, morning always arrives. And when it does, the stolen reflection must return to its rightful soul. And that is the story of the twin who stole her sister's reflection. But tell me something. If you discovered your own sibling had stolen your life for wealth, would you forgive them?